Okay, so we're going to do just a short little video here in regards to ShaMay. It is February 25th, 2022. I have this individual named Val. She's posting, right? Asking questions about ShaMay. So I'm going to read one and my answers to it, okay? So first we're going to, and it's on this video here. It says YouTube censorship. And this is why I'm doing this video. Because I'm a little concerned that my comments will be removed. Okay? They will be shadow banned or they will just be completely removed. Okay? So, anyway, ShaMay's death could have been prevented. May 30th, I'm not sure what year this was made. Obviously after she died, right? What we'll do is we'll read this and then we're going to go see the video and we're going to see if the comments are there. Okay? And if they're not, well, we've got this little video to confirm that at one point I did answer this individual to the best of my ability. Okay, why is nobody helping in regards to what's going on with ShaMay? This thing is a evil thing. Let us fight. They will discredit us, but that's it. If we don't fight, they will keep doing this. I agree. I want to know in what hospital this was. And then don't use periods. I want to know in what hospital this was. Period. Maybe I can trace back some data because somebody big and rich is paying to cover this up. Exactly. Exactly. First of all, you're dealing with the Punjabi community because it was a Punjabi doctor who did this, people. Okay? I can prove that. Right? Well, I can't prove that. I can't be in the operating room when it happened, but there were only so many doctors involved in ShaMay's situation at the hospital. Okay? And the Punjabi doctor was the attending doctor after she was moved from the emergency room and put into the IC ward. Okay? She had the attending doctor when her body was first taken to the hospital, and she was in the emergency ward for almost 7 hours, right? And then from 6 o'clock, they kicked everybody out of the hospital. Julian was there. Tisha was there. I'm not sure about Julian's sister, but anyway, I know Julian was there, and I know Tisha was there, right? They kicked him out of the room, out of the emergency room at 6 o'clock, and said, you guys can come back at 9. That's when I went with my son, Marcane, okay? And then when we got there, Julian, his mother, and his sister were already waiting to go into the into the ICU room. It was 9 o'clock. It went past 9 o'clock because they were running late, right? So we didn't get in until, well, they went in first, you see. That's the thing. They got to go in first, right? Because I went and I told the nursing staff, I said, look, these people, I don't want them here because something's wrong. This is suspicious what's happening to ShaMay, right? Don't let Julian in. But, you know, they were there, so they let everybody in. Julian, his sister, Julian and his mother, they got to go in first. And it was about 25 minutes after 9 when they went in because they were running late in transporting ShaMay's body around or whatever the hell they were doing. And then they were there for about 10, 15 minutes or whatever it was. Then my son and I went in, okay? And as soon as I walked in, people, as soon as I seen ShaMay, I could tell she was embalmed. That was the first thing that came out of my mouth was she looked embalmed. The nurse said, oh, no, she's not bombed. And then I went on with, well, what is this poke mark, this poke mark, this poke mark? Why does she have all these poke marks up and down both arms? Oh, her blood turned to water. We were having a hard time getting blood from her. I said, okay, so what's this leaky shit down her neck with a big-ass Band-Aid, all red, leaking down on the side with the artery? We had to go in there because her blood turned to water. Okay, we know that, people. I've said it since the beginning, okay? That right there tells you a whole lot. We're not getting into that detail, okay? So, yeah, damn right there's rich people covering this up. Okay, because this is being facilitated by the public union sector, using tax dollars and public facilities to do it, with a bunch of fucking crooked doctors and healthcare workers and police and the whole 9 yards, which is all somehow connected to that union, to that satanic union. Okay? Anyway, this was my answer. They are not helping. Let's get this all, okay? Let me push read. Here we go. They are not helping because British Columbia, Canada, okay, is a main hub. You have to understand, we're on the west coast of Canada. This is where all the Chinese like to hibernate and congregate. This is where all the Punjabis like to hibernate and congregate and build their monster homes after monster homes and their mansions and their palaces. Okay? All right? And their condos and their row housing and their multi-unit boxed up freaking high rises and all this other shit. Okay? It is the #1 province out of all of Canada for laundering money outside of Ottawa. Okay? We're first in line here, people, because we're on the west coast with the ports. Right? Canada is a main hub for multi-criminals to participate in criminal activity that props up the underground economy. That's the only thing that holds up the economy in Canada, with British Columbia holding the biggest torch. It's a system that is linked right into the public union sector, being it is public tax dollars and public facilities like hospitals that enable the ability. You see, you have to have the ability to be able to harvest anything first, right? That enable the ability to harvest organs and other body parts illegally. They're not taking them out in butcher shops, okay? It was the Surrey Memorial Hospital. Okay? Same thing with Uncle John, the Surrey Memorial Hospital. Same thing with the Mari, the Surrey Memorial Hospital. Okay? Who illegally embalmed ShaMay's body after the staff took out her organs and teeth. And I do believe they also harvested her eggs as well. This individual asked me why they would be harvesting her eggs. Well, why? Why not? Because for their science experiments, okay? They needed for their science experiments, whether they're cloning, whether they're crossbreeding with other DNA, who fucking knows? Maybe they're implanting them into males that have women's wombs in them now. Who knows? They're doing something with the eggs though, okay? ShaMay was extremely fertile, was pregnant all the time like me, so much so that she felt that she had to have abortions because of the stigmatization around being a single parent, and she didn't want to be, in that situation. So she had a couple of abortions already. That's why I convinced her to keep Amari, because it wasn't good for her. I never wanted her ever to have an abortion, people. And these people that promote abortions, they need to go back to the fucking hole that they crawled in from, out of, and go back in, because it's just, anyway. So they knew she was fertile, okay? They knew it. She was 22 years old. All right, you're not going to go in there and harvest organs and not take the eggs, right? They take everything these days, people, okay? As it was a gynecologist, more reason to know that they took her eggs, okay? What the fuck? You got a gynecologist doting over a dead body. Why? Why, people? Why? Because he was the one with his own operating team. You see, he had his own operating team paid for by the taxpayers with his team within the Punjabi community, okay? So he came in from Vancouver, all the way from fucking Vancouver, where his office was, to regulate and monitor ShaMay's file. But no, he did more than that, people, okay? With his own operating team, who was assigned as the attending doctor to ShaMay after they moved her body into the ICU ward from the emergency room. I have her medical records, people. Okay? When she first went in, it was a different doctor. When they moved her to the ICU ward, it was the gynecologist. Okay? It was the gynecologist who wrote the provincial court a letter stating that ShaMay was still alive on the 15th, when in fact she was not. She was dead. Dead as a fucking doornail. So he purged himself in court, okay? Note, it only takes, and Truth for Reality has a copy of that letter, by the way. I'm pretty sure I forwarded it to him at one point in the past. Note, it only takes 45 minutes to 1 hour to embalm a body. Google it to see if I'm lying. I'm not. And they moved ShaMay's body out from the emergency room between the hours of 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. So it takes 1 hour to embalm a body. Obviously, you're going to embalm it after it's been pillaged. But remember, when we went to the ICU ward at 9, they had everybody still waiting out in the hall until 20 minutes, 25 minutes after 9. And even then, they let Julian go in there first with his sister and his mother before they would allow me, ShaMay's mother, to go in there. Okay? So they were running 25 minutes late because they fucked up. That's why she was bleeding all over her arms. And it wasn't blood. It was embalming fluid. That's why it was leaking all down her fucking neck with this huge-ass Band-Aid slapped over it that couldn't prevent the oozing of that liquid down her neck. Because they fucked up. Okay? And even then, they were running late at 9 p.m. and wouldn't let anyone into the ICU until almost 9:30 p.m. When I was finally allowed into the ICU room, I could see that she was embalmed. And I told the nurse that by saying ShaMay looked embalmed. But of course, the nurse denied it. Then this individual comes back and gives me a response. As soon as I read this, people, I'm just uploading this as is, okay? Wow, do you own any paperwork where they stated it was a drug overdose and that the autopsy papers? I'm going to search for any clues, and I agree Canada is well known for trafficking children and organs on the black market. Well, yeah, because it's a rich country, people. It uses tax dollars to do it, and it uses public union sector workers to facilitate the ability to do it, and they use public sector union workers to do it. Okay? That's why they do it. Because it doesn't cost them anything, people. They can afford to do it. Anyone that participates in it just gets rewarded. That's it. Okay? On the black market. This goes deep down the rabbit hole, but don't give up. If there is anything I can do, I will definitely do it for justice and peace. One thing I noticed you saying is the time frame she was being removed and you not being allowed to see her. Okay, I don't want to confuse anybody. When you talk about being removed, are you talking about being removed from the garage, like from the kitchen as she was going through the garage, and I was distracted away from when they were putting her body into a hammock off of the kitchen floor, and then they were trying to sneak her out the fucking door because they had me down the hall dealing with Julian, when in fact the fucking cops should have been fucking dealing with Julian, right? And when I came back down the hall, just as I got there to the basement door, I seen the 3 men on each side carrying ShaMay's body out of the laundry room, going into the garage with the hammock. Is that what you're referring to? Or the fact that I had to wait until after Julian, his sister, and his mother, right, seen ShaMay at after 9:30, 9:20. We'll just say 9:20, 9:25. Is that what you're talking about? Because I didn't go to the hospital, people, when they took her body out. One, because I didn't want to be around fucking Julian. Okay, the guy was a fucking maniac, all right? Scared the shit out of my family time after time. Even had my son running out in the fucking yard one time with a fucking baseball bat trying to keep the bastard away, okay? Because he phoned up ShaMay and told him that he was coming to fucking shoot us all. And my son said, what? And he went out into the yard, fucking was patrolling the yard for like an hour, waiting for fucking Julian to show up. Like, this shit wasn't fucking funny. So why the fuck would I want to go to the hospital knowing that Julian was going to be there when I was at home with Amari and Andre looking for ShaMay, looking for anything, okay? Getting ready to go to fucking court because it's like that cop told me, it doesn't look good. Damn rights it didn't look good, people. And because I'd already gone through shit with Andre, and I knew what kind of fucking people I was dealing with when it came to social services and the police and all this fucking shit, I went to court the next day and I put application in for guardianship, point blank, period, because I wasn't going to have some fucking social worker show up and start doing another Andre on me. Okay? Never mind having to deal with fucking Julian and his sister and his mother, who all had bad attitudes. Okay. I knew I was going to go back at 9. Right? The thing is, though, I had to wait because they themselves at the hospital were running fucking late. Why? Because they fucked up with the embalming process and they were trying to hide it, but they couldn't. And if Tamika wants to be that fucking blind and not admit that there was something fucking wrong with ShaMay, oh, she gets up on her little videos and, oh, well, you know, if you're nice to me and just give me what you want, what I want, I'll stand up for ShaMay. But if you don't give me Amari, I'm not saying shit. But I will say this, they definitely treated ShaMay different than Howie. Yeah. Yeah, it must have been because she was a girl. No, it had nothing to do with the fact that she was a fucking girl. It had to do with the fact that her body had been pillaged of its organs and its teeth. She was dead at 6 o'clock. They were just doing prep, waiting for the fucking doctor to drive in from fucking Vancouver, okay, with his own operating team. That's what was going on. And then because they were rushing around with the embalming shit, they fucked up, and that's why she was bleeding all over. Well, she wasn't bleeding. That wasn't blood, though. You see, that's the thing. It was water mixed in with some embalming solution. Even the fucking nurse herself admitted that her blood had turned to water. How the fuck does blood turn to water, people? One thing I noticed you saying is the time frame she was being removed and you not being allowed to see her. Did they remove her organs and teeth? So don't feel like you're alone to see her, comma. They did remove her organs and teeth. Well, I already know that. But thank you for confirming it. So don't feel like you're alone in this fight. I know I'm not alone in this fight. I know that. Okay? And that's why I'm fighting so hard. Because I'm trying to prevent it from happening to other people. Because I know that it is happening. But this is what's crazy. The ex-boyfriend, was he being paid to put her in this situation? Most of the time, they target smart, researching, and strong individuals. Well, of course ShaMay was smart. We know that. And yeah, she was targeted. They prey by paying a trusted person, but to wipe out any evidence, they silence him by saying it was gang-related. Zach TV was also killed in a so-called drive-by after finding out that Kanika Jenkins' case was about organs. I remember that. Like, what do they want with eggs and seeds? I already told you. For their clones, for their crossbred fucking subhuman android species that they're creating in labs to impregnate a male that is running around with some other woman's womb in his gut. Who fucking knows? These things are fucking crazy. Clone and create super soldiers? Yes. This feels like a Frankenstein chapter. Damn rights it does. Damn rights it does. More reason to fucking flush them out and shut them down. Yeah. Anyway, good luck doing that though, right? Because they hold all the resources, right? They own all the public facilities, right? They've got all their workforce within the public union sector that make good money being fucking crooks. Anyway, this is my answer now. This is why I'm doing this, because I have a feeling that some of these answers will just mysteriously disappear, right? And this is where YouTube is shady. But anyway, I have ShaMay's hospital records. Sorry, I have ShaMay's hospital files, but that is all her medical files at the clinic. But that is all, comma, right? Her medical files at the clinic is being denied to me, as I was told to take them to court by my family doctor, who technically I could sue for negligence, malpractice, because it's not like I'm getting help with my fucking eyes and all this shit. But besides that point, and by the clinic owner, okay? Because this owner owns like 7 fucking clinics, as if I'm going to go to any of his clinics and get good health care, being that they want to shut me up and want me to take them to court as I go blind. Okay, people, you do the math. Same is true for Ciera's medical files at the clinic. They won't give me her medical files at the clinic either, while the hospital refuses to give me Ciera's hospital files. I had to fight for an autopsy for ShaMay, right? That was a big runaround. I even went to the police station, right? I had to fight, had to beg, had to cry. Right? They told me they were going to give her one, but they never fucking did. And then that fucking investigating cop came back to my house, tried to tell me that their autopsy was a was her blood from the first time she went in. That's all they did, right? Just a bunch of bullshit. And then the coroner said that they had done one, but I've never gotten an autopsy report. And no, they didn't do an autopsy, even though I requested on several occasions. And I had to, like, get mad and get loud. They still didn't do it, people. Okay? It was a big cover-up, okay? For ShaMay's body. But I'm sure they didn't give her one because they were all lying and playing games for like 3-4 weeks over the whole situation. They said they were going to give her one, and then they called me up 2 weeks later and said, come pick up the body. I said, okay, so the autopsy's done, because finally I got them to agree that they would do one. And then they said no. I said, oh, what do you mean no? She's supposed to have an autopsy. Oh, well, we'll get back to you. And on the coroner's report, it just said she died from medical fentanyl, as if she was being monitored with it in a hospital setting in low doses. Okay? That's what the coroner said. All right? Julian laced ShaMay's smokes. I've had enough time to think about this. All right? I've had enough time to follow where ShaMay was on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and by 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, by 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, she was dead. Okay? All right? I know where she was on Saturday. She was at Julian's mother's house, and Julian was not there, because if Julian was there, he would have been there in the pictures holding the baby. Okay? So that left Julian's mother, ShaMay, with the baby, and his sister, because his sister and Julian all lived at the mother's house. All right? So in my mind, as far as I'm concerned, it was Julian's sister who laced ShaMay's smokes. Why do I say that? Because she's up on fucking YouTube going on with her story with ShaMay, talking about how she was setting ShaMay up to find her bobby pins, tampons, and body cream in Freddie's room after Julian's sister fucked Freddie. Okay? And she wanted to make sure ShaMay found out about it. So if you're going to go as far as leave all that shit behind in some man's room when you know he's dating another woman that's been in a relationship for 5 fucking years, then that just shows what kind of person you are and how fucking far you'd go just to get your own way. Okay? And being that Julian wasn't at his mother's house that day, I highly doubt that he was the one who laced her smokes. Because after she left the mother's house, Julian's mother's house, she went to her African family friends from Africa, from Sudan, okay, that came from fucking refugee camps, from Darfur, that came from fucking refugee camps, okay? None of those people were running around doing fucking cocaine. It was a freaking wedding, and everybody was celebrating a wedding and the birth of children. There was only one household that was bitter and hateful, and that was Julian's mother's house. Julian laced ShaMay smokes, but I think his sister did that. I told you why. While Julian himself just finished the job, killing ShaMay. What? YouTube's gonna remove that because I wrote the word killing? For a few days later, as she was sick, lack of appetite, was dizzy off and on, tired, and she even passed out one time for 3 days before she died. We all thought it was a flu, a cold, something like that. Nobody would stop to think that her smokes were being laced with fentanyl. But if you're sucking on a cigarette that's been sprayed with medical fentanyl or sprinkled with medical fentanyl, you suck on a cigarette and pass out 20 minutes later or get real tired a little later after the fact, would you stop and, oh my God, somebody laced my smokes? No. No, like who does that? Only certain kind of people do shit like that. Julian's mother came, and because she asked, did Julian come into some money? No, it wasn't Julian, quote unquote, per se. It was his mother who came into big money because she got into a car accident several months after ShaMay died. And apparently they gave her a brand new car by September. Okay, because I have video of it with her fucking creeping my yard on purpose, but that's for a different day with a different video. Okay, it's already on fucking line, right? Bragging on about her big fancy fucking car. She's got lawyers fighting on her behalf to sue ICBC so she can get a bunch of money. And that's exactly what happened. They fucking paid her out to the point where Julian's sister got online bragging about how fucking rich they were after the fact. So yeah, it's kind of fucking suspicious a year and a half later or so, not even a year and a half. It wasn't even a year and a half later. All of a sudden, this woman gets how much money? I don't really care. The point is as far as I'm concerned, she was walking good. She was talking good. She was doing what she does all the time. The only thing that she didn't do was help with Amari. Instead, she put herself in a fucking position, said she wasn't going to pick up Amari anymore, and then tried to blame me and say it was because I didn't want her to. And she just bailed fucking ship. And then she went and bought herself a big-ass fucking house after she got the money. Okay? So, I don't know if Julian was involved in all that, because by that time, Julian was dead. By the time the money rolled in, he was dead. Because somebody else took him out. For whatever reason, I don't know. I wasn't there. Julian's mother came into big money about 1.5 years later. I'd have to stop and crunch the numbers, but besides that point, after ShaMay died, okay, because she got into a car accident within the first year after ShaMay died and then had to go to court before she got the money, right? Because she said she got into a car accident. She was fine. Okay, she was fine after the car accident because they gave her a new fucking vehicle and she was coming around picking up Amari. And when they got caught that Julian wasn't even there at those last 3 visits, right, that's when they fucking bailed ship. That's on video too. Only half of the video. I still have half of a recording that's not up online yet. She was fine, but car insurance fraud, you see, that's the big money. That's where you're going to get the help in British Columbia, Canada. Go get yourself into a little minor fucking car accident and walk away with $400,000 in your pocket. It's that easy in British Columbia, Canada. Okay? It's big business where I live. Julian got shot down in front of a gas station, so he's now dead. But that is not justice for ShaMay, nor for my remaining family and nor for Amari, her son. Okay, I don't consider that to be justice. Okay? That was, I don't know what, I'm not even going to comment on that right now. There's lots of things I could say around that, but I'm not, that's not what this is about. And then, I'm not sure what Julian's motive was, because she was wondering if maybe it was money. Well, the way he looked at the cop, when that cop told me to take him down the fucking hall, there was something going on there. I write it here a little bit. Okay, so hold on. I'm not sure what Julian's motive was, other than his sister wanted Amari. Now, the reason I say is because when it went to court, right, my lawyer, because of what was going on with the guardianship, right? I served Julian papers the next day after ShaMay died and was dead on a doornail in a hospital bed. He came to the house with his mother, demanding to take Amari. I served him papers. Like I said, I went through that shit with Andre. So I acted, okay? Because nobody was telling me that ShaMay was dead. The doctor was lying to me on the phone. They were obviously fucking lying to me in the hospital. So that morning, the next morning, my son and I, we went to court. And I just did what any responsible person would do. And sure enough, Julian showed up with his mother, demanded to take Amari, couldn't get Amari, said he wanted to see Amari anyway. Okay, this was after he was served, right? Tisha said, okay, I'll tell Mom just even 5 minutes, I'll bring Amari down. She came upstairs. That's when Julian took the opportunity to sneak into the fucking basement, convincing Marcaine that he had to go get something from ShaMay's room, even though all his shit was packed up and sitting in the laundry room. Went down the room. He put fucking ShaMay's phone on the dresser, even though Tisha and Paige had terrorized the room looking for the fucking phone. But he had to put the phone back, so he put the phone back, and then he fucking left. Oh, and he went into ShaMay's room at the same time and took a fucking big TV screen. So he right? And then when Tisha Kim went downstairs into the garage with the baby, Julian was gone with his mother, with the TV taken from ShaMay's bedroom, and the phone was put back. So the next time Tisha went down into the bedroom or whatever, that's when they found the phone, where they had already looked between two girls, because it was just a bunch of shady shit. Okay. That's how much Julian cared about Amari. He was more concerned about a fucking TV screen and putting the fucking phone back that he had for over 24 hours than he was about seeing his son for even 5 minutes in the garage. Okay? And his mom helped him to get away with that TV. Alright? So, being that we had to go to court, we're going to court now. The few times that we went, my lawyer was dealing with whoever, and it was my lawyer who told me that it was Julian's sister that was egging on the whole shit. That Julian basically didn't fucking care. And you know what? At the end of the day, people, he never showed up for the trial, okay? 2 times. First time, he didn't show up with a lawyer. Him and his sister showed up, even though he had a lawyer, right? Or I don't know. Did he have a lawyer the first time around? I know he had a lawyer at one point, but he dropped the fucking lawyer. For the second trial date, he never showed up. Nobody showed up. Mother didn't show up. Sister didn't show up. Fucking Julian didn't show up. Nobody showed up. Okay? First trial, Julian and his sister were there. They were trying to muscle my lawyer into giving them what they wanted. And my lawyer came to me and basically told me that it was Julian's sister who was causing all the shit and was wanting whatever it was that was going on at that time. Not me. It was my lawyer who said that, people. Okay? And it rang true, because the last 3 visits with Amari before the grandmother bailed ship, Julian wasn't even at the house. And they weren't even looking after Amari properly. It was the cousin who was doing it. And then she told us. And we got that on recording. Okay? And then when court came, the second date trial, nobody showed up. So nobody can say that Julian wanted fucking Amari when he didn't even fucking show up. Okay? That's why ShaMay was moving on, people. And both of them resented ShaMay. Julian's sister and Julian himself. They resented ShaMay. Right? In part because they couldn't control her. Right? They couldn't get her to move out and get an apartment so they could sell their fucking drugs in it. Right? They couldn't manipulate her that way. She chose to stay at home with me. Right? She chose to register for college and go to school to be a nurse, right? Borrowed $15,000 just so she could go to fucking school, right? Within 12 days, she was going to start college, people. It was all paid for. Everything was paid for. Her dad was going to buy her a $6,000 fucking car, right? And both of them resented ShaMay because they couldn't control her, and ShaMay went back to Freddie. You see, that's the thing. ShaMay was with Freddie for 5 years, people. But we know what Julian's sister was doing near the end of the relationship. Before Freddie and ShaMay even fully broke up, she was planting her tampons, her bobby pins, and her hand cream in Freddie's bedroom after she'd have sex with him, knowing that ShaMay would come by and find them. Just so that she could break up ShaMay and Freddie once and for all, and then bet him, hook him in, and be the best girlfriend, better than ShaMay ever was, and rub it in ShaMay's face. And for whatever reason, ShaMay was dating fucking Julian, Tamika's sister, brother. Like, it was a bad situation. I tried to tell ShaMay that, but young people have to find their own way. You know, they learn, right? Nobody's perfect. Anyway, 1 month or so after sleeping with Freddie, within a month, people, within 1 month of ShaMay and Freddie having a rendezvous, like the good old days, because Julian and ShaMay were no longer together, they were completely broken up, she was murdered by having her smokes laced with medical fentanyl that took 3 days to kick in, because she was sick off and on. Get dizzy off and on. One time she completely passed out. Right? Sitting up. And I said, well, gee, you need to rest more. What am I supposed to do? Who would know? Who would know that your smokes were being laced and that is what was making you pass out? Right? Like, who would know? Right? But then Julian somehow got cocaine and morphine in her system on that morning, on the morning she died, to make it look like she was doing drugs when they drew her blood at the hospital for their coroner's report. Because that's what they base their autopsy on, is her first blood sample from when they took her to the hospital. Even though I demanded on several occasions, begged and pleaded for a proper autopsy. And then they told me they were going to do it, but they still didn't do it, people. And then they came back with just their little, well, this is what was in her blood and this is why she died, because she was depressed. Oh, sorry, it was an accident. Then I wrote, there was a moment where we were standing, and this is in regards to Julian. This is the last one, and then I'm going to upload it. Oh no, we're going to go see if these comments are even still posted. Okay, there was a because they're asking me if I think Julian was involved with the police, right? Basically, and I'm like, I've thought about that too. And there's really only one. I mean, there's more than one way I could say maybe he was. But for the situation with ShaMay versus taking it outside to other people that he had been around where they had died, okay? Because there was other people died around him, people. Anyway, there was a moment when we were standing by the basement door, okay? And this was, they had moved. Now I didn't see this. Somehow, some way, they took ShaMay's body off of the living room floor and they moved it to the vinyl floor, which at the time, everything's so huffety huff, in chaos, you don't really stop to think about it. But I thought it kind of odd because, why are you moving 10 feet from, a distance of 10 feet? Why, if she's laying flat on a carpeted floor, why are you wanting to move her onto a vinyl floor, not even 10 feet away, outside of maybe they wanted to have her on something cooler, right? A vinyl floor would be cooler than a carpeted floor, right? Okay, so anyway, there was a moment where when we were standing by the basement door and they had moved ShaMay's body onto the floor into the kitchen from the floor in the living room, which was about 10 feet apart, where Julian just started acting all loud and out of control. And it just came out of nowhere, people. He just started as if a light switch had been turned on, okay? And to which the head cop, he was the head cop, right, that was standing there right next to us, told me to take Julian down the hall and deal with him. That both the cop and Julian gave each other this weird look that makes me think they were working together. Because they were cueing each other. They were cueing each other, people. Right? Julian became the distraction to take me down the hall so that they could fucking do whatever they were doing with ShaMay's body on that vinyl floor, put her in a fucking hammock, and start hauling her ass out while I was down the hall dealing with somebody that was pretending to be hyperventilating. So when I came back down the hall, I got to the basement door, and that's where I seen them walking out the door, 3 men on each side with ShaMay in a fucking hammock with that fucking dirty cop standing there saying it didn't look good. Okay? After dealing with Julian down the hall, I came back to the kitchen and the men were already carrying her dead body out the basement, and they were already in the garage with it. My take is they did something on that kitchen floor that was somehow related to her head from the neck up. They pinched, like pinching off veins, arteries, or something to prevent blood flow to the rest of her body, being you cannot give dead bodies oxygen as it destroys organs very quickly. Okay? Are you listening to what I'm saying? They harvested her organs. They weren't going to destroy them, people. Right? But they had to make her look somehow like she was alive with that color in her face. The only way they could do that would be to cut off the fucking veins and the arteries, or the major ones, right? And because, they had her in the hospital in the emergency ward for a period of time. I don't know what the color of her skin looked like. All I know is that they did something, okay? And if you're trying to preserve organs, you're not going to give them oxygen. You're going to pinch off those major arteries to prevent that from happening, okay? Because why would they take a flat surface, carpeted, do what they were doing, and then at some point move her to a vinyl floor, not even 10 feet away, so they can continue what they were doing as they used a distraction to get me out of there before they loaded her up into a fucking hammock and then tried to sneak her body out because I was down the hall dealing with a fucking lunatic, when in fact the fucking cop should have been fucking dealing with him. And just by the way the cop and Julian looked at each other, and Julian went off the fucking wall and started acting all, ShaMay, oh, and just carrying on and wouldn't shut up and started acting like he was fucking hyperventilating, and the cop is telling me to fucking deal with him? Like, come on, think about it. And then they're sneaking ShaMay's body out the fucking door not even 5 minutes later. 10 minutes later, or however long I was with Julian down the hall, trying to get him to fucking stop hyperventilating him. And then when I gave him a bag, because he was pretending so much to be hyperventilating him, I told him what to fucking do, and all he did was push the bag away, say, I don't need it, and he stopped, pretty much just stopped with his fucking play acting. Okay, because he was never hyperventilating. All right, I know what hyperventilating is. It was just a ruse to get me down the fucking hall so they could pinch off ShaMay's fucking neck, do whatever it was. If they spilled a little blood and it went on the vinyl, it was easy enough to fucking clean it up versus a big stain on the carpet, don't you think? Right? I think so. Okay, I was there. I've had enough fucking time to think about it. All right? I came back to the kitchen and 6 men were already carrying her dead body out of the basement and were already in the garage with it. My take is they did something on the kitchen floor that was somehow related to her head from the neck up, like pinching off veins, more like an artery, or something to prevent blood flow to the rest of her body, being you cannot give dead bodies oxygen as it destroys organs very quickly. They ran any oxygen, if they did, only through her head from the neck up, and that's why they moved the body onto the kitchen floor so they could clean up their bloody mess. Okay? Yeah. That's what we're dealing with, people. Now we're going to go to the video. Let's see what's published. Look. Here we go. Just this. Just this. Not even the one that I was just commenting on. Okay, this is a different one. Let's go. All right. Where is it? Look, none of her posts are showing. So, is this person a troll that's already been blocked by me? People, that's the only thing that I can think of. Maybe I'm talking to Julian's sister for all I know. Val. Huh? What do you think? Just trying to be a shit disturber, bringing memories back up to me. Huh? Look, there's nothing there. So, let's go back and see. We'll go into studio. Okay, we'll go into comments. Okay, we'll go to Hell Review. Look, here's a new one. Okay, here's a new one. I haven't approved this. Okay, I mean, is this person just trying to antagonize me here? Right? So, I was thinking about this tank top being black, and after he removed her, she had a white one on. Okay, well, I'm not going to answer this because, right? Not right now, because for all I know, this could be Julian's sister coming in with another fake fucking user account, people, just to irk me. We'll go into publish. Okay. Let's see. Okay. See? She keeps making all these comments. Okay? I'm taking for face value. See? Here's another one. Right? They're not even showing. They're not even showing. Okay? This is the one that we just went to. This is the one that I just read to you. It's not showing. This is why I'm doing this video. So this tells me that this person is using either a fake user account and it's already blocked, or what? YouTube is shadow banning all of it? Huh? See, here's another one. Let's go see if this is showing up on this one. Okay, here's this one. All right? Let's go to this video. We're looking for Val. See? Val is blocked. So this could be Julian's sister just fucking with my head. Because if you notice, she's trolling all ShaMay shit. Do you see it? Do you see Val? I don't see Val. Oh, wait. Here we go. So this one went through. Okay. This one. I mean, Val, if you're watching, if you're a legitimate YouTube user, you'd understand what I'm talking about here. Okay? So here we go. Right? So that one's good. But when you give a little more detail, all of a sudden, YouTube or somebody is deleting whole posts. Right? So let's go back. We'll try this again. Right? Go into comments. Held for review. Okay, there's that. I'm not dealing with that at this point. Go into publish. You have to click this out in order to get those. This is the one that they completely shadow banned. YouTube censorship. ShaMay's death could have been prevented. Right? They took out everything that I just read to you, but we'll double check. This one's showing, okay? ShaMay's Snapchat on April. This one's showing, okay? I don't know about this one. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Okay, this is Slam Dunk, Justice for ShaMay, right? Okay, so let's go back to the one where I write something of substance, okay? Because I was there, right? I know what happened. I was there. I seen it from my own eyes, okay? I'm not lying. Right? I have the fucking pictures of ShaMay sitting up at freaking Julian's mother's house with Julian's mother holding Amari, but with no Julian in the background. Trust me, if Julian was there on that day, okay, he would have been in the picture. And the only reason ShaMay was there was because Julian's mother bothered Tisha at the prenatal clinic to tell ShaMay that she wanted to see the baby. And because Julian wouldn't take ShaMay to go with her to his mother's house to go see the, take Amari to go so that she could see the baby, she had to go by herself, people. She had to go by herself. But that's where her smokes were laced. Okay? So I'm not talking. Because I already went. We're gonna go back. I already went to this person's page. They don't have nothing on their page. 1 or 2 videos, that's it. Look, see? Nothing. Look at that. Okay, so second video of the day, whether I uploaded it or not today remains to be seen because my could have been prevented, right? So YouTube, for whatever reason, has completely shadow banned the whole post. And that's why I did this video, people, because I'm so fucking sick of it, right? Because that's the way it goes, right? These things, they think they can come into your fucking life, destroy your life, right? Destroy, literally destroy, okay? And they think they can get away with it by just fucking covering it up, okay? Could be the RCMP that's covering it up. Dr. God, Dr. Death, whatever she is to you. Right? Because they don't want to be held to account. Okay? They don't want you to know how they get away with shit in terms of pinching shit off at the neck so they can make it look like somebody's alive when in fact the oxygen, that maybe a little bit of oxygen maybe that they're giving them is only being filtered through the fucking head and not the rest of the body because it's already been pinched off. Because they can't put oxygen into dead organs because if they do, they'll destroy them fast. Why did they take ShaMay's body from a hard living room floor and move it to a hard vinyl floor to only sneak it out the fucking door after they had Julian through queuing to start acting like a maniac so that I could be redirected to take him down the hall and deal with his fake hyperventilation when he wasn't even hyperventilating. It was just an act. As we've got now Val coming in here stirring up the bee's nest. Okay. It could be anybody, people.